The street is my world. I don't pretend to go uptown and be anything fancy. I can, but I find more real in the world that I'm in than I do the tinsel. And the real world is the one I have to deal with every day, you know. Believe me, if I started murdering people, there'd be none of you left.
Let the bass kick.
Playtime been over since y'all dropped the ball. Bound to the continent, there's no asylum for y'all. Pushing the black Asiatic game with Fort L and Pool Bay. Before NOI, I rep draw L all day. How many fakes proclaim to be the reincarnation and claim to be the true head of the Moorish nation? No mention of Mealy Ill, but I read his letters. Dirty Moors mad cause they thought they dead as letters. Many were there when decisions were handed down. Now they claim that Mealy was not ordained, not commissioned, not called or appointed. With divine plans for ages, but Dirty Moors making changes. Working with FBI during infiltrations. In a pheasant alleys giving bogey smoke inhalations. And secret wars are made, heads are made in public mentions. Don't believe, get the minutes of the first convention. Kirkman and Lomax Bay got called out as villains against the Prophet's order and L. called Givens. Thousands of Moorish Americans followed those leaders that killed the Prophet and made Moors parrots, not readers. They don't study, brains hollow. To crush the truth, plant dissension in the ones that follow. Robbed the treasury, felt like they hit the lotto. Took advantage of the faithful Moors in their times of sorrow. Moments still critical, 100 years later, the message. Stick to the principles in your actions, be progressive. Don't sell your soul for a title, take your membership role. Watch out for grand cheeks pushing you in a censorship hole. The sellout was great, now they comfy and won't get the hell out. Active Moors come around, they get clumsy. Not humbly, but act grumpy and jumpy. Active Moors see them touchy and think it's lovely. With faces ugly, I push back so don't shove me. If not for love, it would be just as dirty Moors get from me. Hitting all reincarnates and writs of discovery. And demanding the treasury recovery and law for money. Wearing a fez don't make you a Moorish adept. Dirty Moorish heads are Boy Scouts and cadets. Working for FBI inspectors, slaves for gadgets. Claiming they got pulled, but they really dead magnets. Running a fraud that's done cause new Moors are here. One for all for one profit like musketeers. Bay, not Tampa or Buccaneers. I strike nerves like harp or strings on those puppeteers. Pushing misconceptions as teachings and calling it facts. Swinging my scimitar, tongue not a fireman's axe. Quick to call me out as dirty, say I violate acts. If you don't nationalize, know that I annihilate blacks. Nail them through their palms and incepts on beams of wood. Burn crosses on black lawns in my Moorish hood. Black Klansmen like movie from 1960s. White power, not supremacy like Clayton Bigsby. Now I run through illusions, battling my arch nemesis misconfusion. She's been trying to keep me out of course, facing losses, calling all her negative forces. 99 years passed, Drew Ali said 50 would pass, and you wouldn't know about me, or even know what I brought for you. NOI and UNIA knew about him too. Most thought that they could bury the movement, be in charge, passive and abuse it. But Drew said new Moors would come with eyes open, seeing and knowing, far from hoping. Far from belief in faith, master fruition. Study the laws of nature, activate intuition. One day our wheels of industry will stop, and when it starts again, Moors will be on top. Drew Ali blessed with latent power. Warned you, get out the way or be ground to powder. Drew Ali didn't kill you fast, but he brought you your title and estate vast. Confusion continues to confuse, no remembrance of Maghrib al-Aqsa by Moorish descendants. Now I run through illusions, battling my arch nemesis misconfusion. She's been trying to keep me out of course, facing losses, calling all her negative forces.
Nevertheless, if we're going to solve problems, we have to tell the truth about what's going on.
Peace, 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 peace. I'm Rami Salaam. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. Oh, now we're going to get to it. The rise of the Moors, Taj Tariq Bay, government plants, false flags. What's going on, Rami? Who are Moors? Who are true Moors, true Moorish Americans? What are we supposed to be doing? Who should we be listening to? Where's the leadership? What's going on? We're going to get to all that. But before we get to the clips, before we break it down, I want you to just keep something in your mind. I want you to listen very closely to the questions being asked and then the responses or answers to the questions. Listen to the question being asked and then the responses. And I don't even want to give away one of the issues. I just want to put that out there. just for some context, and then when we go through it, hopefully, God willing, you'll be able to see with your own eyes and hear with your own ears. All right, so let's get to the clips.
Here's a question. It's a good question from Ernest Lockett. Brother Taj, if all these words you speak are true, what did the 11 Massachusetts Moors do wrong that the treaty or treaties are not helping them be freed?
You're dealing with a de facto platform. Is that not true? You're dealing with organized criminals who, since 1861, violated the Constitution to overthrow the Republic so they would not have to honor the treaties. What do you see going on? I'll tell you what you see going on. You see a false flag, and I guarantee you a couple of people among them are plants. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Now, you heard the question, and then you heard the response to the question. But if you notice, Taj Tariq Bay, he didn't respond by answering the question. He responded with another question, and then another question, and answered that question. He didn't actually answer the question that was asked. And this applies, this is bigger than Taj Tariq Bay. This is just a teacher moment that I want us to focus on this video and just in general. Pay attention when someone is asked a direct question and they don't give a direct answer. And more importantly, when someone is asked a direct question and they respond with a question, you can't answer the question with a question. You know what I mean? So we have to pay attention to that. Be careful of that, because usually, from my experience, especially just working with people on a day-to-day, usually when you ask someone a direct question and they can't respond, or they don't respond with a direct answer to that question, they're trying to deflect or move away from whatever that issue is, that direct issue that's on the table. So as we proceed through this video, I want you to pay attention to the question that was asked, and then listen very carefully to the response that was given, and see, don't believe me, see for yourself and hear for yourself if the response actually answers the direct question that was asked. Okay? That's something that we got to focus on. Now, addressing what Taj actually said, he said he made a claim that it was a false flag, and that among the Rise of the Moors group, there was several people that are plants. I'm assuming government plants. Some sort of government agent, probably agent provocateur, planted within the group. The question I'm asking for everyone, Taj, but anyone watching, where's the evidence? Where's the proof? Because he said that is a fact. Now that's a claim he put on the record. If it is a fact, where is the proof? Where is the proof that that incident was a quote-unquote false flag? Where is the evidence that that incident with the Rise of the Moors militia group in Wakefield on I-95 was a false flag? The evidence, not my beliefs and my feelings or my opinion, but the actual evidence, not Taj's feelings or beliefs, what he thinks, but the evidence. I'm being very specific. If he's saying that there are plants within that group, where is the evidence? Where is the proof of this? Now,
so some of the proof that people are plants and agents in the Rise of the Moors situation is, one, the two people who first got kidnapped in the alleged standoff, both of them have a lawyer when nobody else doesn't have a lawyer. Two, everybody else that got kidnapped can be contacted or has contacted Rise of the Moors, the ones that are not kidnapped. And these two individuals who first got kidnapped, they haven't been reaching out to anybody. If you need more than that to think that people aren't plants, probably have mental problems that you need to go check. You probably have mental problems that you need to go check. If you think that those two instances don't qualify people to be plants.
This is me talking my opinion now as Rami. My opinion, well, I'm going to hold my opinion on that group. But I would like to see the evidence of that. I do know it's important to not make false accusations about someone unless you can provide the evidence. So I would like to see the evidence, the proof that it was a false flag, the evidence and the proof that there were government plans, or are government plans in the rise of the Moorish militia group. Maybe there is. I'm not claiming that there is or there is not. I'm simply saying, did Taj Tariq Bay present the evidence or the proof of that?
Another piece of proof. If these Moors had a hearing claiming that they're dangerous offenders and all this stuff, and they proved without a shadow of a doubt that they aren't dangerous, but then Judge Carstetter denied them bail and held them until yesterday. And then they go to court yesterday and there's a new judge. Not only is there a new judge, but on all the paperwork, the DA signed off as the judge and the DA. All the Moors who were there, they saw the paperwork. How is the DA signing off as a judge and the DA? Oh, you still don't think this is orchestrated? If you go to a court for whatever, and you see on your discovery that the judge signature and the DA signature, prosecutor signature, is the same signature, aren't you going to think something's botched with this case? Or are you going to just go along with it because they're the law and they're the government, so we got to go along with what they say? Now let's take this back a little bit. Let's take this back.
What's happening? I'm Rami Salaam, Moorish American. Let's get down to business. I don't even want to talk about that. I have children, and sometimes, like when I ask my daughter to clean up her room, do different chores, if she doesn't do it, and I ask her about it, I was like, well, why didn't you get the chores done? Instead of just admitting, you know what, I was procrastinating, I was playing around on my cell phone, or I was listening to music, or I got caught up reading these books, she'll start making excuses. She'll start blaming other people. She'll start, avoiding answering questions I didn't ask. And I do my best to teach her about accountability and, being able to hold yourself responsible. That's part of the thing, with great power comes great responsibility. When I give her the freedom and I don't micromanage and I say, hey, just get it done, the responsibility comes with, you got to do that on your own. I'm not going to be watching over you, but there's going to be a time where I'm going to come check in on you and see where you're at, and you need to have made some progress. And if you didn't, you have to be, man or woman enough to admit, what, I didn't do what I was supposed to, and then take the next step to correct it. I say that as an analogy to this Moorish movement. There's a lot of people in this movement that have been in this movement for decades and were assigned with a task, assigned with duties to do, and they weren't micromanaged. There wasn't no one really looking over their shoulder. But there's a time when now you have to be held account. Now you have to say, hey, so we checking back in. What's going on? Have you made the progress like you're supposed to? And the truth is, most people have not. Most of these so-called temple Moors, most of these people that say they're followers of Noble Drew Ali, have not been doing what they were supposed to be doing. And what I've noticed is the few people that have, one in particular, Taj Tariq Bay, but on a larger scale, all of the brothers and sisters that's associated with RV Bay Publications and the Great Seal, I've noticed that a lot of the temple Moors like to attack them, even though they've been doing the work. And I've also noticed that, so-called officials, they'll try to blame it on other things. Oh, well, we're working on this and we're getting it established, and, it's a lot of BS. You know what I mean? I've heard it too many times from my daughter. I can recognize when someone's avoiding admitting they didn't do what they're supposed to do. I know to play. I play the game too. You know what I mean? I had plenty of jobs where I was supposed to have something done and I didn't have it done in time, and finagle my way out of that and hurry up and get it done. But this isn't that. This isn't cleaning up your room. This isn't getting a report done by Friday. This is for the upliftment of fallen humanity. This ain't something we're supposed to be playing around with. So this message is for any person, any Moor that's attacking RV Bay Publications, Taj Tariq Bay, any of the active Moors that are producing literature for the people and getting the information out to the people and teaching civics and law to the people. Because Drew Ali said that we are supposed to, the organization is to make us better citizens, that we are supposed to enforce the Constitution. In order to do that, we need to study and know the law. We need to study and know civics. So, anyone attacking RV Bay Publications, Taj Tariq Bay, or any more that's teaching civics and teaching law, you're going against the Prophet. You're going against the Prophet's teachings. You would be an enemy to the movement. Can Taj Tariq Bay or anyone else present evidence or proof that this is true, that this is a fact? If we can't, we shouldn't be saying this is a fact. We can state that's your opinion, that's what you believe, that's what you feel, what you think. We have to be careful not to say it's a fact if we don't have the evidence and the proofs to back up that claim. All right, let's move on to a part of the clip where he was speaking directly, responding to a question I asked directly. All right.
Whoever IAMHH Temple is, says, why is Taj Tariq Bay speaking for hours on YouTube instead of going straight to the courthouse? What happened to unity?
What courthouse? There are no lawful courts operating at North America since 1789. Therefore, among Moors who are the real people of the land, we've been activating consular court, i.e. Article 3, constitutional principle court that supersede even the adoption of that constitution, for we're the heirs of the land. So how dare you make such false claims?
Now, did you hear that? Did you catch that? I asked the question directly to Taj Tariq Bay. By the way, it's me, IAMHH Temple, Rami. Okay? But I asked him a question directly. And did he respond? Did he answer the question I asked? Did he? I asked, instead of being on YouTube, why aren't you going down to the courthouse? And to give a fuller context, it's because Taj Tariq Bay, as many may know, has been for years and years teaching about knowledge and law and what's legal and constitution and treaties. And he has, he claims and is very well known to be well studied and super knowledgeable about the law. So here is an example. Here is the perfect time to actually apply that information, to actually be about what you've been talking about. So that's the full context of the question. And what was his response? What courts? There are no constitutional court. But see, I didn't ask about constitutional courts. And nah. The Rise of the Moor militia group, they are in Malden District Court, okay? Malden District Court in Massachusetts. So that is where they are. They actually have a court date tomorrow, August 9th, 2021. But that's where they are. But the real truth is, unfortunately, you know, and as much as I love and appreciate all the information that Taj has put forth, but unfortunately, Taj has taken the role of someone that's just pointing the way. It's like, one second. The Quran here, from Noble Ali, says, "The man who stands upon the corners of the paths and points the way but does not go is just a pointer, and a block of wood can do the same. The teacher treads the way. On every span of ground he leaves his footprints clearly cut, which all can see and be assured that he, their master, went that way." And Taj Tariq Bay is well known. Many people have called him a master teacher. Well, here's an example for the master teacher, Taj Tariq Bay, all due respect, to not point the way, but actually walk the walk. Force Blackwater? Well, yeah. Now you see, when you get a little more detailed in terms of appearance, you can identify different soldiers by their respective medals or insignia that's on the uniform. And if you notice there, you can't really identify what and who they are. Right?
Go the other way. Go around
it. Peace to my wife. Based on the people's appearance, we can assign some sort of status to them. We need to be conscious of this as people and communities can and will make determinants about who you are simply based on your appearance. Okay? That's why the appearance is very important. In fact, that's why I actually came in this hoodie today. By my appearance, I may have one status that may be different if I came in here in the three-piece suit like our brother Rami is. Right? The appearance... Two-piece. But I would do this even when I was in school and in college. I would wear a hoodie, sit in the back of the class to give off the appearance, to see how people would treat me. Right? Especially the teachers. See how they would react to me. Not knowing what I know or who I am, just based off my appearance. And I also saw this when I used to have a job, plantation job really, and we traveled to Switzerland. And I was wearing the suits out there, and you'll be surprised at how the tone of people change. Oh, good evening, good afternoon, sir. Right this way, sir. Right, just based on the appearance. Don't know who I am. Next up is the chart below. It has a list of both names and titles of different people from different communities of society. Let us examine them and see what statuses are communicated by the names and the titles. First up, Beyonce. What status does she have? Based on that name, what do you think? Beyonce. Queen. No. Entertainer. Money. Okay, what about Hannibal? Name Hannibal. Warrior. General. Anybody thought Hannibal Lecter like in the movies? Not Hannibal Barker, one of the best and most well-known generals ever in the history. Who was a Moor, by the way. What about Wassilu Muhammad Jocko? and show and prove that the knowledge and information that he's been talking about can be applied, and it can be effective, and it can get us freedom. Right? Walk the walk. Put this information to the test. Show and prove. If this is right and exact. If this is right and exact, why wouldn't this be the perfect opportune time? Unfortunately, in my opinion, Rami speaking, I feel that the methods and the direction that Taj Tariq Bay and also the rise of the Moors and also many of these other individuals and groups that have created these own organizations separate from the Moorish Science Temple of America, splinter groups in the Moorish Science Temple. I believe all of them, while having some valid information or some good information, they're not Noble Drew Ali. That's not the right path. We're not supposed to be following Taj Tariq Bay because he's not the prophet, a true and divine prophet. We're not.
That are they able to talk with you and contact you?
About that whole paradigm. Why are we so blunt? Because we know that people need knowledge to fix things. We don't present a paradigm for followers. I don't like followers. We so blunt. Because we know that people need knowledge to fix things. We don't present a paradigm for followers. I don't like followers. I want equals to come along so we can build something. I don't want dummies. I'm not babysitting anybody. So blunt. Because we know that people need knowledge to fix things. We don't present a paradigm for followers. I don't like followers. I want equals to come along so we can build something. I don't want dummies. I'm not babysitting anybody. We don't present a paradigm for followers. I don't like followers. I want equals to come along so we can build something. I don't want dummies. I'm not babysitting anybody. That's for people, grown-ups who need diapers and taffies. I'm not in that business. We don't present a paradigm for followers. I don't like followers. I want equals to come along so we can build something. I don't want dummies. I'm not babysitting anybody. That's for people, grown-ups who need diapers and taffies. I'm not in that business.
Supposed to be following the people in Canada or this militia group, because that's not what true Moorish Americans are supposed to be about. What true Moors are supposed to be about. We're supposed to be about uplifting fallen humanity. We're supposed to be about love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Noble Drew Ali never mentioned a militia. Not once. We need to follow Noble Drew Ali's teachings. Respect the Taj Tariq Bay, but Taj Tariq Bay is not Prophet Noble Drew Ali. We need to get that right. Let's continue. My bad. Before we continue, I did want to address the second part of what he said because it's important. I want to make sure that we're clear. He said, therefore, Moors are activating the consular courts. That's what he said. Moors is activating the consular courts. But what is a quote-unquote consular court? Taj Tariq Bay already spoke about it in the video previously. So let's listen and be clear what he's actually saying.
So Will Ramirez says, do we have a consular court? What is the official outside support when challenged by interlopers?
This is what happens. The consular court is your state of mind.
So just to summarize before we move forward, the direct question to Taj was, how come he's on YouTube making videos for hours and hours instead of going directly to the courthouse to free the rise of the Moors and, defend them, etc., 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 right? Didn't actually answer the question, but then at the tail end, he said, therefore, us Moors are activating the consular court. But then he goes on to explain that the consular court is a state of mind. So, the answer in a very roundabout way is that, well, he doesn't know where the constitutional courts are. So instead of going to the courthouse to actually apply this information in real time, in the flesh and not online and via YouTube videos, instead of doing that, he's going to activate the consular court, which is the state of mind. So he's going to activate his state of mind. And I guess Moors that believe in that ideology or that solution are also going to be activating their mind. Personally, now this is me speaking personally, I don't believe that solution is going to be effective in helping the rise of the Moors if that's what you're interested in doing. And this dude went all around the universe and back and forth and talking about all sorts of stuff. It didn't just answer the question. That is a problem. And that is a sign, a character trait of people who are often trying to manipulate and be dishonest and be deceiving and conniving with the information. So pay attention when you see that. When you ask somebody something, and just listen to what they say and see if they answered the question. And he didn't. And I want to show you the difference. Now, son, come on, man. Let me bring you in. Let me give you an example. It's my man Cam Bam.
Yo, it's Cam Solo up in here.
Okay, let's bring it down. You're a 10. We need it on 2, maybe 7. Okay. Example. When you asked me, didn't you ask me what a word meant the other day?
What?
Remember you asked me what a word meant? Do you remember?
Mm-mm.
You're a 10. We need it on 2, maybe 7. Okay. Example. When you asked me, didn't you ask me what a word meant the other day?
What?
Remember you asked me what a word meant? Do you remember?
Mm-mm.
Well, let's just say, anytime you ask me what a word means.
Oh, I remember one. What does delusional mean, Daddy?
Delusional, that's what it was. And hold on, but what did I say to you when you asked me what does that word mean? Anytime you ask me what a word means, what do I tell you?
You told me what the word means. Or like, oh, you say go look in the dictionary. Or you say that let's check it out on Google or Siri later when we get back home.
Gotcha. Well, I'm usually I do say we need to look it up in the dictionary, right?
Yup.
Okay. Thank you.
Is that all that you needed me for the whole video?
That's it.
That's an example.
Yes. So go sit down, baby.
I have more than just an example.
You're way.
I'll show you all.
Alright. Cam. Yes? I know that you're more than an example, okay? Okay. Appreciate you. Man, so I really wanted to show you that, well, 1, because my man, he wanted to be in the video, but 2, to show you that so I did that for 2 reasons. 1, my man, he was just dying to be in the video, but besides that, I wanted to show you, when someone asks you what a word means, you ain't got to take them all over the world and give them this hypothetical theory and blah, 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 blah. Man, open up a dictionary. Tell them to go look it up in a dictionary. Go with them and look it up in a dictionary. For example, just what it is, And here's a little bit of evidence that you can see for yourself. This is bringing the people back into the constitutional fold of government. Includes a review of the FBI investigation of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And it says, by Rosmariah V. Bay, prefaced by Taj Tariq Bay. And this is coming from RV Bay Publications. I'm just read I'm going to read the preface. The information in this booklet is not designed or presented to condemn or attack any association, institution, organization, temple, or person. It is presented in goodwill to state some vital truths about the return of the natural people, Moors, back into the constitutional fold of government, which is incumbent upon the Moorish Holy Temple of Science and its other associated institutions. This is confirmed by the charter and purpose of its establishment and existence, as founded and dedicated by the Prophet Noble Jew Ali, Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali. This modern-day Moorish movement, 1913 and on and forward, embodied a program which includes the establishment and administration of temples for propagating the faith and extend the learning and truth of the great Prophet Ali in America, and to appoint and consecrate missionaries of the Prophet to establish the faith of Muhammad in America. The Moorish Holy Temple of Science, registered as a civic organization, included within its well-structured program these indispensable component parts. So now it's breaking it down. You have schools. Noble Drew Ali commanded the establishment of schools to extend the learning and studies of law, history, liberal arts, language, etc. And he said that every Moorish temple must also have a school. Business and industry. Noble Drew Ali established business and industry as functioning part of the Moorish Divine and National Movement. A grand treasurer established the position for the movement to accommodate the dedicated banking needs. The charter availability, to make sure that there was charters available to active Moors who desire to become active members in their communities. A newspaper and press. Noble Drew Ali established a national newspaper for the Moorish nation, and literature production, and yeah, I'm not going to get to too much more, but I wanted to read just a little more here. Yeah, this last little part. Yeah. This is on page 17. A lot of the members, active and passive, keep saying that they are exercising the Prophet's program, yet they are not. For one, if they don't have the schools that are so sorely needed and is a part of the Prophet's program, they are not fulfilling the Prophet's program. Additionally, if they don't have an active missionary program in place, an active program for industry and business, if they have not made charters and nationality cards available, if they do not have or utilize a newspaper or produce literature for public consumption, or have a grand treasury with accountability, then they are not carrying out his program and have missed the mark by an obvious long shot. It really isn't complicated and needs no apologies. It just needs to be acknowledged and then fixed as it is an infraction. The point was and is to bring the people back into the constitutional
See, Finesse, what you're not getting is that this individual right here is who you should be sick and tired of. People like this is who you should be tired of when tired of the Moors. He's going in on people hating Taj Tariq Bay, but then right now, real time, he's talking against Taj Tariq Bay. December 14th, 2016, he was all for Taj Tariq Bay, making videos supporting Taj Tariq Bay. Now, 2021, he's talking against Taj Tariq Bay. Doesn't that tell you something? Doesn't that tell you something? Or are you naive to the fact that people sold out? Why do you think you went to prison and jail and all that stuff? Because Moors didn't do their job. That's why you went to jail. Because if you had the teachings of Noble Drew Ali when you came out your mom, you wouldn't be having any issues right now with going to jail. Because you'll be upright, independent, and fearless, and you're not going to be some ward for these people to take advantage of. And then Moors bring you up into the knowledge of knowing some truth so you could free yourself, and then you're tired of all Moors. You're not tired of Moors. You're tired of the traitors who didn't do their job, which this individual is one of those traitors who didn't do their job. And it's a fact. It's not opinion. It's a fact they didn't do their job. His son has 2 earrings. The hell are you talking about? Why does his son have 2 earrings for? In different ears. Why does he have 2 earrings for? Since when men have 2 earrings? And if you find any, they better be some ancient Moorish whatever with the hoops and all that other stuff. Not be Moors with studs in their ears. They better have some ancient long earlobes and all that stuff if they're talking about they got earrings on. And then you're not saying nothing about them. And then please.
Code of Government. Read Divine Warning to the Nations by Prophet Noble Ali. Please read that. Very important. And I'll end there. But I just wanted to really focus on this statement here. It's not complicated. It needs no apologies. It just needs to be acknowledged and then fixed. We have some acknowledging to do. And I'm talking about from the fact that we don't have a Supreme Grand Council, which is the body, the committee of Moors that will settle all of these disputes that we got going on. There's no national newspaper going. There's no there's no treasury with accountability. I definitely see a problem with that. The schools is definitely a problem with that. Literature, where when I read that, and I don't do this just to like brag too much, but I put this, I helped put this together. Well, this one is actually for me, but I also have another one. Peace out to Khalifa Media, Sister Tahita, Najee Ula L. But I put this book together, and another one, 77 Amazing Facts about the Moors, with Brother Cujo Awa L, and he has plenty of books. Check it all out at khalifamedia.com. But
So if he used to ride with Cujo, and he used to ride with Taj, and he used to ride with RV Bay, now he's talking BS about Cujo and talking BS about Taj, what does that tell you? Doesn't that tell you that there's a problem in the Moorish movement of fence riding? There's a problem in the Moorish movement of people only doing what's convenient for them, and then once they get their usage, like we said, you can go on his own channel and see him lecturing with Taj Tariq Bay. So if he's lecturing with Taj Tariq Bay but didn't take this video down, he can't take it down because it's got 60,000 views, so he's probably still getting paid from this video. So why wouldn't he take this down if Taj Tariq Bay is so bad and evil and he's not doing stuff right? Why he still up here? So what happened? Go ask him what happened. I can't ask him jack because he blocked me. So you gonna go ask him, or are you gonna keep playing games? Right? Why don't you go ask him what happened? I bet you he blocked you. I bet you. Rami, Salaam L, or Cliff Solo. Go ask him, hey, how come you used to talk pro? How come you used to talk pro Taj and Cujo and now you're talking against them? Oh, now F that. When it's time to face the traitors, when it's time to face the sellouts, now F that, you just want real knowledge. Well, the real knowledge, you better go study, because ain't nobody giving you anything out here. Ain't no real knowledge for anybody. Ain't no real knowledge out here. You go on Kush page, and then you're talking about Oh my gosh, he's giving me real knowledge. No, he's not. He's reading from books that he has in his library. He's giving you real knowledge. He's just reading books that he's been reading for himself. And he found something interesting, highlighted it, and made videos and told you. Why aren't you doing that? You could do that yourself. You go buy the book, highlight the fuck out of the book if you want to. You don't need Kush. You don't need Kudro. You don't need any of these pages out here. You don't need that. You need to go study. You need to get off all this stuff and go study. That's what you need to do. Because like we said, in 2008, all you had was master teachers. You didn't have an option of dirty Moors. They weren't even in existence to be talked about. Once you look up Moors, master teachers are coming up. That's it. Ain't nobody else coming up. The problem is the people stopped studying, which was the whole point of this online BS. The whole point of this online BS was for them to be able to insert people to teach you. And then it took you 5 years to realize that they were a traitor. Now you're complaining about getting your rights violated. Well, that's what happens if you don't listen to the master teachers. You listen to all these other dingbats out here, then what do you expect? Why do you think we've been told you? Go to the master teachers, go to RV Bay Publications, stay there for 2 years. Nah, you don't want that. You want to go to some dick out here talking BS. Just because they have 50,000 views on a video, that means they're credible. No, it doesn't. That doesn't mean jack. Look, this guy has 60,000 views. He has 60,000 views. Is he credible? He has 60,000, but he also threw Taj names in there as clickbait, and he didn't put Rami Bay's name in there when all this was the same lecture. Him, Taj, and Rami El. And he didn't put Ramel's name in there, but he made sure he put Taj's name in there though, because he knew that was going to bring clickbait. He knew that was going to bring people. Which, you know, he's on the stage with him. You might as well use the name, get some views or whatever. But when that views well runs dry, and then people start paying for their own views, or you start going on their stuff, right? You start going on their stuff and you're seeing that they have more thumbs down than thumbs up and all that stuff. And when people start getting into 20s and 30s and 40s thumbs down and all that stuff, they're probably not too credible. You should probably stop listening to them people, because you're playing yourself. And people are going to keep playing themselves, because you keep thinking that somebody's out here to save you or whatever like that. Ain't nobody out here to save you. Ain't nobody out here to read your writs for you or whatever. You better know what the hell you're writing if you're going to write writs. If you don't know what the hell you're writing, stop writing writs and go study. It's that simple. If you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know how to play, get off the court. You be telling people on the court they're doing stuff wrong and you don't even know how to play. That's the problem. Forget views. I check out whoever's kicking some knowledge. Kicking some knowledge doesn't cut it. Forget who's kicking some knowledge. Go study. Go study. And if you're shit, the coach ain't putting you in. So don't tell me what because there's a coach you're going to be on the court. No, you're not. If you're shit, you're not going in unless somebody falls out or whatever. You ain't going in the game if you're garbage. Ask all these NBA guys who ride the bench. Riding bench for 5 years. Never touch the court. When there's a blowout win, they're up by 50, these guys touch the court. Why do you think that is? Because oh, they're in the NBA, so that means that no. No, you don't have a coach. You have a coach when there's practice. Outside of practice, you're working on your game. What are you talking about, coach? If you're not working on your game, coach is useless. What's coach gonna do? Coach is not gonna be with you, laying on your back in the bed, working on your form. The coach is gonna be in your bed with you, practicing your form. Please stop the BS. The coach is gonna be out there with you taking 150, 200 jump shots. No, he's not. Don't talk about Jesus, because Jesus told you that greater men are going to come do more greater stuff than he did. What are you talking about Jesus? As if Jesus was coaching. He wasn't coaching nobody. Who was he coaching? He was coaching himself. He was a self-coach. Other people started following him. Jesus coaching somebody. Prophet coaching somebody. No coach. Prophet built the temples to teach. And then what happened? What happened after the coach died? What happened after the coach died? Shouldn't there still be temples teaching? So what happened? How come you're not in a temple? If the coach brought the temples to teach, and you can't even find a temple where you live at, whose fault is that? That's Noble Ali's fault? That's the coach's fault? Or is that the people who were assistant coach and assistant coach and all those people who didn't do their job? And if those people didn't do their job, then why are we talking about coaching? Why does coaching have anything to do with it? Exactly. You don't know any temples because the people didn't do their job. The people who you're saying are coaches. Why didn't they do their job? Why didn't they do their job is the question. If Noble Ali left such an easy thing for them to do or whatever like that, all you got to do is, the temple's already built. You didn't even have to build temples. All they had to do was do the job that he told them to do. Did they do that? No, they didn't. And because they didn't, that's why your ass got kidnapped. That's why you were in jail. That's why you were in county lockup and all that stuff, because of these same dirty traitors who didn't teach you about your nationality and your birthrights. And then they're still around here today trying to convince you that certain people aren't master teachers and they need to go to the court to get people out and all that stuff. Bro, you're supposed to find out about this from the womb. The fact that you found out a month ago proves my point. The coach can't save you. The coach can't teach you how to be a good basketball player. You're either good and then the coach enhances that, or you're shit and you probably need to get off the court and go work on your game. Coach can't make you. You think coach was on the court helping Giannis go 14 for 16 in the finals? You think the coach was there? I bet you he took his own time to work on his shot. He's the one with the ball in his hand, putting it in the hoop. The coach isn't doing that for him. The coach is going to touch him on his elbow, touch him on his wrist, tell him to spread his fingers, whatever. He's the one taking the shot. That's no different than all these people singing and dancing or whatever. They get an award, they go up on stage and they're thanking Jesus. Like Jesus was the one to help them work on their voice and get their breath control and all that stuff. Jesus ain't nothing to do with that. So if you're thinking you need a coach in the Moorish movement and then you're saying, well, the prophet is a coach and the master teachers are a coach and whatever, then you're probably not going to excel. Right? You're going to be Ben Simmons instead of LeBron. You want to be Ben Simmons. You want coach to teach you how to make a layup. And you want coach to give you confidence to shoot. You want coach to do that. Ha! You have a full-time job. Ha! And think I don't have a full-time job? Matter of fact, I'm not even working right now at my full-time job because we're off for the summer without pay. Don't mix up bills and being a Moor and work and being a Moor and whatever else you're doing in your own life and talk about being a Moor and putting all these things together. You know, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You never heard that? Why? Why they tell you that for? Right? And guarantee you're going to go work for them. Guarantee you're not working for some Asiatic. Bet you're working for a European. You know why that is? Because these same traders, these same sellouts, these same individuals who claim that they were students of Noble Drew Ali and all that stuff, and then they didn't do what he told them to do. And ain't nobody telling you to go quit your job to be a Moor and all that stuff. That's not even the point. The point is, you have to study. I don't care if you work 12 hours a day. I don't care. You think the ancestors care that you work for a colonist for 12 hours? They don't care. You better have the right sources. Shut down all this virtual learning BS. Shut down all the virtual learning BS and take some time into studying for yourself. Because if you're not studying for yourself, you're never going to know. Because no one can tell you about this. No one could tell you about this. You're either going to go do your research and know, or you're not going to know. Half you people just waiting for Kush to go live, just so you could sit there. And then he give you 50 books and you don't buy one. Not one. Not one book. And give you page numbers, highlight stuff and all that. And you're still not going to go buy one book. Matter of fact, all that work that he's putting in, none of you never even hit him up and say, hey, here's a 50 for all the stuff that you've been putting out there. Because, shit, you've been going for 2 hours and all that stuff, and you gave so much information, my head's spinning. But then here you come 50 other times after that. 50 other times, back to back to back to back to back, going getting free knowledge or whatever, and not hitting Moore's up. But, you know, Dior, you're going to hit them up, get your belt. And whoever else you're going to hit up to get your little snakeskin shoes or whatever. And then whoever else you're going to hit up to get your shirt so you could look good, and then you get your jewelry from the whatever. And then the honorable Moors, you just look at them, they're supposed to just give you free shit. It's all good. You know it is. We're not done beating them up. We're going to be live later. Canaanland Moors YouTube. Anybody want to jump in, feel free to be there sometime later. Islam to all the Moors, honors to all the mothers, and honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Islam.